Hello. We have no idea what
I don't know
what song was playing just there, because that was our one from last time.
Happy Monday. Oh, I'm so
Monday. It's odd.
Welcome to Critique Week, guys. We're going to be critiquing your Etsy shops, but please wait to submit them via the pinned post that I just added a little bit ago. We will say go, and actually we'll probably type go, and then we will look at all of the shops that are submitted after that. A couple of quick little bits to be aware of. Mark and I have food poisoning, and
we think so. It's probably a stomach bug.
We have something. And there is a chance that I'm okay now. Mine was through the weekend. His is just starting. If he jumps up and runs, it's because he's gonna go throw up.
I'm gonna throw up.
He's gonna go throw up.
I'm okay though. I'm okay.
Okay.
I managed to put the whole studio together this morning. So.
Yeah. Okay. He got it going. So before we get started, if this is your first critique week, welcome. We are going to be here every single day until Friday, same time, same place. You can actually go to my channel now by clicking my name right below this video on the left side. And you can click notify me on all of the critique weeks. I'm not going to email you guys about these every day. I think I'm going to email you like every other day about them, but they are taking place every day. Since we're also doing our Handmade Alpha Academy marketing, I don't want to bombard you guys with 2 emails in a day about, here's one about Critique Week. Here's one to remind you about HAA. It's too much. I don't want to bug you. So with that in mind, just make sure that you've got it on your own calendars. It seems like every year when we do these, we only have big numbers of people show up for the days that I email you. And I don't know if that's just because people forget about them or if they don't realize that we're doing them every day, but we are. Couple other little quick bits. We pull these shops completely randomly from the chat. So we're going to see all kinds of sellers. We do not select shops where we can see blatant copyright infringement. So
we don't know everything that's copyright, however. So
yes.
If we pick somebody and they have copyright stuff
that we don't recognize,
you don't have to slam them in the chat. There's no way for us to tell. We're not huge into like pop culture. So
yeah, but just please be aware that if you've got like Mickey Mouse and stuff in your shop, it might be best to just
Star Wars.
Right. It might be best to just not submit. And it's not because, you are breaking the law, but it's not, because we're trying to be mean to you. It's that we don't want a bunch of people to go and attack you. We don't want a bunch of people to go and like message you because it's a controversial topic. So we will do our best. They are all random. I know that every time we do these, there's always a couple people who are upset because like one day we'll accidentally pick shops that are all, already doing kind of well, and people will be upset that we didn't pick shops that are under like 50 sales or something. That's the whole point about it being random. It is completely random. We're logged into
I know, I don't care. I'm just trying to pick one that I can like
pick mine.
Where is it?
Go here. I will. Yeah. And then let's see. We will show you exactly what we need from you. We'll use mine and Michelle's shop as an example. This is our brand new shop that we just opened. We're already up to 47 sales, guys. We just opened it. So happy about that. It's kicking off real nice. And I did want to point out that, if you guys have never watched my channel before, Michelle and I, who run the shop that we're going to be showing you, we do have official licensing from the authors to create the bookish merchandise that we sell. We always try to throw in that disclaimer.
Mm-hmm. And we will tell you in just a minute when to submit. I know a couple of people were asking, but I'll show you.
Yeah. And we'll show you what we need from you. But last 2 bits is that we do Critique Week in celebration of 2 things. First of all, we are raising money for St. Jude Children's Hospital. Yes. They are such an amazing organization. If you guys are not in the U.S., I know that, it's mainly a U.S. thing, but St. Jude, they cover the expenses of life saving procedures, especially for children with cancer, and they do brilliant treatments that help these children. That way the parents don't also have to stress about the burden of being able to pay for those treatments when the children need them. The holidays at St. Jude are always really special because they do tons of things for the kids. They provide them with toys, and Santa comes to see them, and this is like the best time of year to donate to St. Jude. We are already up to Where's our donation total? Does it not show since I pinned that post?
Yeah, it won't show because you pinned it.
Can somebody type in the chat what we're up to by chance? I know several $1,000s. I would like to try by the end of December to get to $5,000 raised total for St. Jude. Critique Week is a great opportunity to donate in a way that we can do this. However, donating does not ensure that you get a critique. So
No, we are not doing a donation for a critique.
Right. So just, donate out of the kindness of your heart to help these kids. The second thing,
I literally just said that we'll tell you in a second.
1 second, please. So the second thing that we are celebrating is obviously the opening of Handmade Alpha Academy. That is my Etsy coaching program. There is information about it down below if you open up the video description. We're only open for enrollment until Sunday. Mark and I are only 2 people. We can only take so many people. There's no limit on how many we take, but we do cut off enrollments after 10 total days, because any more than that and we just wouldn't be able to keep up. So if you're interested in that, we will answer questions about the Handmade Alpha Academy at the end of every critique day. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have. I personally prefer to answer questions live. I feel like we can have a more genuine connection, if I'm actually talking to you as opposed to typing out an email. But if for any reason you're not comfortable asking the question live, or maybe you have a sensitive question, you're free to email me at starla@handmadealphaacademy.com. Mark is going to put in the chat for our enrollment page if you're interested in checking that out and you want to see what the Handmade Alpha Academy is all about. That's not the link to Handmade Alpha Academy.
Yes, it is.
You didn't add VIP.
Oh, I didn't. I'm a stinker.
You're sick.
Yeah, I'm out of it, guys.
Yeah, you gotta add them /VIP. They can technically still get to it from that link.
No, it's blasphemy.
Make it easy. Oh, thank you. Thank you to everybody who's donating to St. Jude. We appreciate you. And that money goes straight to St. Jude. We don't see a penny of it. So.
All right, and I will go ahead. Do not post your shop yet. I'm just showing you what I need.
Yep. All right.
Jump the gun on that screen share a little quick. That's fine.
That's okay.
All you're going to be posting, and don't do it yet. All you're going to be posting, don't do it yet, is this.
Yep. Just that.
Just this. Copy, paste that. Don't post a link. YouTube will automatically block it and won't even tell me that it did.
Yep. So that's all we need. No spaces. You don't have to add. I know that somebody had asked if they need to add UK at the end. If you're a UK shop, you don't got to do that. Just give us the shop name and we will do our best to figure it out. So Mark is going to post.
I'm going to post go, but I'm going to say that I'm going to post go here first, like 10 seconds before I actually hit it, because there's a delay. So I'm going to go ahead and say go.
Go.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, you jumped the gun a little bit.
Wishes in Paloozaco, you can resubmit.
They can't. There's slow mode.
Oh, yeah, you'll have to wait.
It's fine. I'll consider that a part of it.
We do have slow mode enabled. So, and you have to have been subscribed to our channel for at least 5 minutes. We are doing that because we're getting to the point with these critiques that we can't keep up anymore. I mean, look at the chat. Look at it go.
Some of them might even disappear because there's enough people here for that. So I'll go ahead and scroll up. That way I can at least get a couple off the top, because I have a feeling that they're going to disappear.
Yeah. That way everybody's got it. And we will have everybody resubmit. That way, if you were at the top and, we start getting too many, we'll do multiple goes. Yes. That way everybody's fresh. So just make sure.
Please only submit your shop once.
Yes, please.
Please. If I notice you've submitted it multiple times somehow, then I just won't pick you.
Yeah. So just follow the rules. We'll try to keep these as fun as possible. It never fails, guys. We do these for charity, and then every time we do them, there's always
You suck!
You're doing this all wrong. Like, I'm trying. I'm sick. I'm doing my best. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. Obviously, you have to be subscribed for at least 5 minutes to even participate today, but please consider subscribing. Check out some of my content. I've got tons of videos on my channel. I'm a manager over at erank.com, and I think starting in January, we're really going to start hitting some great Etsy SEO and eRank tutorials, simply because we're making a lot of improvements over at eRank right now, and we want to, make sure that we're explaining some of these improvements that we've made. So, were you able to find it?
No.
And if for any reason we can't find your shop, that looks like it. If for any reason we cannot find your shop, we won't announce that we couldn't find it, because we don't want anybody to be upset about the opportunity that they missed. That's more disappointing, right?
Confused. Will that go straight to the shop? Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. It's so confusing. That's okay. Let me move the chat and stuff over, and we will be good to go ahead and start. Y'all are probably good to stop submitting shops. There are so many already.
Yeah, and then we'll retype go. That way everybody still has an equal opportunity. Just stick around, and if you have to pee, take your phone with you and pull us up on the YouTube app, and then you'll know for sure if we type go again.
It's totally fine if you accidentally posted your shop twice before I told you.
Oh yeah, it's.
All right, now leave that there. Leave this at the bottom. That way I can still see chat.
We're not unreasonable.
I am.
You are sometimes.
Sometimes.
He's sick and cranky.
He's sick and clanky. All right, here we go. Shop number 1.
All right, the horned cat. I really like this banner.
I do too. And I like the fade into the Etsy banner too.
Yes, you guys know every time we do shop critiques, I always comment when somebody can get that hex code for the natural colored banner, and then they transition that perfectly like into their banner. Not to mention, this is adorable. Did you paint this? That is such a cute logo. I love that you are utilizing the same background color. And this is a perfect example of somebody who has utilized an avatar in place of a photo of their face, which is totally okay.
And it fits the theme, so I'm totally cool with that.
And one of the things that you guys learn in Handmade Alpha Academy is the power of human faces and the psychology behind a smile, and why human faces are so great at conveying trust. Smiles, it's one of the things that we develop in order to assess trust. We actually don't know why in ancient humans why we began smiling, but we believe that it was a way to show that we are safe and that we are unarmed and we're not going to do harm.
I said it's a carved stamp I made myself.
Oh, that is awesome. It is so cool. And I love that you've got the color the same here. Very cohesive branding. It looks very nice. And again, even if you can't do a photo of yourself for any reason, avatars are perfectly fine. Let's take a scroll down. Oh, that's super cool. You're using a sword for your
yeah, that's neat.
For your photos. Overall, your photos look really nice. I love how you've gotten creative. You've gotten very creative with how you've taken them. So my only critique right now is to get some more items in here, because I think that you've really got an eye for your niche and you know exactly who your target customers are. I definitely get a Renaissance Festival vibe from your products. I would definitely like to see more. When did you start your shop? Okay, you don't have an about section. So that's going to be my first critique is you clearly are close to your niche. You're close to your industry. I would love to hear why you're so close to this industry. And that about section is a great way for you as a human being to connect with other human shoppers. Getting some photos in that about section. Even if they aren't of you, you could show how your workspace, how you create your products. If you've got, like a pet laying around your workspace, there's all kinds of fun ways to utilize that about section, even if you don't want to show your face in it. And having a completed about section, Etsy tells us, does help our products to rank in search. It's that overall shop completion, having completed policies, having a completed about section. Oh, and I'm an idiot because I didn't scroll down far enough. But still, get some photos in there. Let's see. Everything I make is heavily influenced by my love of folklore, journaling, and adventures in nature. Yeah, I'm just a dummy. I didn't scroll down far enough. So you just started this year.
I said July.
Oh, you're doing fantastic then. That is a great rate of growth. Again, I think that if you got a couple more listings in there, don't rush, take your time, but that's fantastic. And you've got 2 pages of reviews, so that is great. Just get some photos in here. Oh, I love it when you get your pets in your
Disturber
photos.
of the peace.
I love Keeper of Hope. That's adorable.
I love it.
That could be a great way to utilize their photos as well. If you have any cute photos of the cats like laying around your workspace, you could incorporate those in. Trust me, people in like the fantasy, Renaissance, medieval niches, we all love cats. I mean, we really do. The other thing that I would recommend is filling out your FAQ section. I like to consider your FAQs as an extension of your policies, where they're not necessarily seen by Etsy as policies. However, they're a great way to add in additional information that you otherwise wouldn't be able to fit within those policies. I believe that were you in the Netherlands?
Yes.
Yeah. I might try to get a little bit of information about, your shipping times and things in the FAQs, just so it's really bold, because your U.S. customers might be a little concerned, just the unknown. The Netherlands sounds like a fantasy location that doesn't really exist. It doesn't sound real. So you might want to just add in a little bit. If you've already had experience with selling to U.S. customers, maybe put in an average, my packages typically arrive, to the United States from, in between like this many days. It just might be a good way to utilize that section. And for those of you that are in like these, in the Netherlands, or especially since you're doing the fantasy theme, just keep in mind that in the US, and I'm sure all of our US peeps can agree, that sounds so exciting to us. Like we are just so conditioned to cornfields and cow poop that the idea of this, oh, wow, all of this cool medieval, like our brains know nothing. We don't have a lot of frame of reference, but the Netherlands, wow, that sounds so exciting. That's a great way to really grab the attention of your US audience. So keep that as a benefit, not as a detriment. And you've mentioned it several times, but I think that you could play that into your branding. You could really, really run with that because it sounds cool. I'm going to go ahead and click on the first listing in your shop.
Sword.
I like how you've utilized multiple textures, and I don't think it distracts from your products. Normally, I don't like a lot of props, but I think that you've done a pretty good job of making sure that everything remains relatively well balanced. Got a listing video in there. Things are probably going to load a little bit slower for us. Good frame of reference for how big the earrings are. Yeah, overall, I think that you've done really nice. Oh, I love this. I love that you've shown exactly how your products come packaged, and it's eco-friendly. You're showing that you're using the cardboard honeycomb envelopes as opposed to using a bubble mailer. So that's really nice. So my only concern here is your SEO. Is anybody searching for Lady of the Lake? Is anybody searching for blue glass drop? These don't sound like and these are the search terms you're leading with. I would lead with the most important element about your product, which is silver chainmail earrings, because when you're on an Etsy search page, you're only going to see whatever comes before your first bit of punctuation, which would be Lady of the Lake. And this is all they're going to be able to see. And if somebody doesn't know immediately what this is, they might not even realize that it's earrings, which sounds crazy, but you got to think that especially on mobile, these photos are very small. But if they can see silver chainmail earrings, they might say, oh, I'm going to click on that and investigate more. I would just make sure that you're getting those great keywords in there that people are actually searching for. I'm going to see, this one is good though. Silver sword earrings. But again, those are the only keywords you have in there. So I would definitely recommend getting some richer keywords in there. Overall though, oh look, this is your bestseller too. And it looks like you've got some great reviews as well for these earrings. So that's awesome. And you've got some photos from customers. So that's great. This listing here probably has a great listing quality score. So my biggest piece of advice would be we can go ahead and bounce back. My biggest piece of advice, can you log us out? Oh,
Okay.
that's it. My biggest piece of advice would be to really buckle down on your SEO. And if you guys need help with this, this is for everybody who's watching. If SEO's, if you just need that edge, down below in the video description, my free Etsy SEO toolbox is linked down there. Check that out. It's not like one of those annoying courses that only gives you like half the information and then, leaves you hanging. It gives you step-by-step instructions on how Etsy's algorithm works, how to do your Etsy SEO. And I've got a couple videos in there on how to ensure that your Etsy SEO is working, how to track your listings to make sure that the keywords that you're using are actually, gaining the traction that you'd like. So definitely check that out, especially if you're new here. And I always know that like during HAA enrollment times, we always have people that see all the marketing and they hear all the hype and they're like, yes, I need to enroll in this right now. And they're super excited about it. But if you haven't taken any of my free resources yet, don't be afraid to dive into those first because they are very useful. So yeah. Okay. So this one worked. You just doing?
Yeah, I'm doing a double check for copyright. Always do.
Looks good.
Looks good to me. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right, a pinch of cute. This is a really cute banner. I love. It on this monitor. He's got like, what's your color accuracy on this monitor?
Like 99%.
I
99.9.
on his monitor, I can tell that this hex code isn't the exact same as this one.
It's very close.
It's very close. I don't think anybody would be able to note it. Can you guys see that on YouTube, or is that maybe
It's
just
probably more apparent on YouTube because of compression. It'll probably look a little more yellow than gray.
yeah, but not anything that is just me being nitpicky. Not anything that would ever distract away.
Close enough that most people won't notice. Most people scroll right past it.
Yeah, it looks like you've got a photo of your family, but to be perfectly honest, I couldn't tell what this was. This is really cute. I love that you've got the same background. It's very cohesive. I would love to see this zoomed in a little bit. I can't tell that it's people. It's very, very tiny. But very cute. Now, for your actual shop logo, this is also cute. Again, kind of tiny. You might be able to get away with just doing the bunny because the bunny is the logo, right? You've got, this is kind of like your word mark, your actual, your brand name and the fonts that you've selected, but you might be able to get away with just the bunny. I guess on mobile, though, you do only see this. So maybe having the shop name is okay. It's just very tiny on desktop. Love that you have this little disclaimer here that you are utilizing your own equipment. You print everything from home. That's really nice. Not really any issues there. I like that you've pointed that out, and I like that you're taking your own photos. There's a couple issues with your photos. This one here is very overexposed at the bottom. This one here is extremely overexposed. Your lighting isn't perfectly even. Some of your photos are okay. Like this one actually has pretty even lighting. This one has great even lighting, but there's just a couple of these that you could improve.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Have a sneezing fit.
okay. You're fine, honey. This one here, again, I think that your photos need just a little tiny bit of work. Nothing too terrible. Again, I sometimes have to be nitpicky, but I think that you could up your photo game just a teeny tiny bit. And what I would recommend is head over to Christina Nicole's channel, by Christina with a K, Nicole. Can one of our longtime subscribers type in her channel who already knows how to spell it, by Christina Nicole? She is fantastic. All of my students in the Handmade Alpha Academy get her product photography essentials workshop included with their membership. And if you guys are in, anybody who's in HAA, if you haven't found that yet, it's in the bonuses vault. You guys can sign up for that immediately. But her YouTube channel gives amazing advice, and lighting is her thing. That is what she specializes in. Nice, cohesive, even lighting. I'm just seeing a lot of amateur mistakes that are easy fixes, and all it takes is understanding how to balance your light more effectively. These are all things I learned personally from Christina. I wasn't the best at photos, but watching some of her videos and learning from her has helped me a lot. So hopefully it helps you as well. I'm a little... I guess everything kind of ties together. I think that you could refine on your niche a little bit, because you're talking about personalized gifts and party decor.
And I'm not quite sure who you're selling to.
Yeah, I would like to know more about your target customer. I feel like I see kind of like baby shower things, and these could be like wedding. They could be... I guess there's a lot of different ways that you could utilize these products. I guess what I'm really craving is a cohesive element that ties everything together. I kind of want to see more of these pink backgrounds, to be perfectly honest, because I feel like you went on a roll with the pink backgrounds, and then some of the products just don't utilize them. I just really feel like there's some glue that's missing that holds all this together. Okay, so this photo's a little off. I wish that I could give you guys an easy formula for getting these about section photos perfect. They are a pain in the butt because they display differently on every device. And if you use the recommended sizes that Etsy gives you, they're still not right. You've got a listing video. That looks like an old banner. Show me, don't tell me. Your heart belongs to your children. Show me, don't tell me. That's one of the things. I'm a science fiction author, and that's like one of the first things that I learned about writing. Show, don't tell. Show me that your heart belongs to your children.
She said, I just switched to the pink background. Glad that's working.
Yeah,
I do prefer that. And there's comments people saying, with the name A Pinch of Cute, lean more on the cute.
Yeah, because, there's ways to get more cute. There's ways to be known more for the cute. I don't associate the cute bunny with the dark backgrounds with the decanters. And I know that it makes it a little bit more easy to show off your products, but there are other ways to do that. You could, Christina Nicole, she talks about replica surfaces a lot. They're a great resource where you could add in the elements that still add in the cute. Maybe you have a little pink rose off to the side, but lean into what your strength is, which is the pink. And for these about section photos, show me the cute. Kids are cute. Show me your kids. Show me you working on your products. This right here for you, especially when you are not a POD shop and you really clearly want to show people that you're making these products in your house, show me you making them in your house. Show me your workspace. Show me that these are handmade, because that's a whole different industry than the sellers who are doing POD. Not that there's anything wrong with POD. I'm POD myself, but I think that there is something even more respectable about somebody who takes the time to make these products from home, and that's coming as a POD seller. I am excited by the idea that you do this from home. Let's see. You got a great about section in here. Again, if you can get some photos of your face or avatars, I would love to see them. Kids are a little different. Sometimes you don't want to show your kids, but you could always have them draw a picture of themselves. You could do, a little family, cute little photo that they've kind of doodled. There's all kinds of ways around that. You've got your FAQs, looks good. Little bonus that I recommend for your FAQs, because, it's easy to scroll right past them and not really notice them. Add some little pink emojis. Go to Emojipedia and just search pink, and all the pink emojis will pop up, and you can copy and paste those right in. And it can just add some little pops of color that make people more inclined to read. And it fits your branding, especially if you're really going to run with this pink theme. So I'm going to click on this one, since this one is one you said that you're switching to the pink. So I'm assuming that maybe this one's a little newer. Your photo on this one is actually pretty good. It feels relatively well balanced. There's one spot that has a lot of exposure, but that might just be the fabric that you've chosen to photograph on. Got some great listing videos. Yeah, and these appear to be maybe your older styling of photos. Overall, not bad. Like I said, I think just some more well-rounded, even, balanced, natural lighting. I can tell that this is a light box. There's telltale signs of light box, and that you've got
spots.
there's hot spots. It looks like maybe you might have went into an app to try to brighten them. I'm seeing some dark corners, dark bottom spot. And not only are they dark, but they're also yellowish dark. When I edit photos, if there are dark spots that I can't get rid of, I turn the saturation on the photo all the way down, go in with some type of manual brush, usually if I'm using iPicky.
And just whiten them off.
Right, I'll whiten them off so they're more gray rather than yellow, because yellow is, just one of those kind of icky colors. We associate it with icky things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Christina Nicole is going to be a really great resource for you. You've got a great variety of photos, and I know exactly what you're selling. And I love that you have a little about me in here as well. That's great. Baby pom-pom hat, personalized sports themed gift for babies and toddlers. Great baseball themed present. Super cute. I think that as long as you've researched your keywords and you keep an eye on them, you've got some good keywords in here. I would love to see how they end up working for you in the long run. It seems like you are relatively new. And I think that for a new shop, you've done fantastic. How many sales do you have? 2 sales. Do you have 2 reviews too? That's great. If you've gotten reviews on both of your sales, that is fantastic. That's an awesome sign. And how long have you been selling? 2023. So not too shabby. Again, I think that right now your best bet is to really, really buckle down on those product photos, because you're going in a great direction, especially if this is like the new style that you're working on. You're moving in a positive direction, and I can see that you're learning. The next big step, like that next big jump, it's going to take a lot more learning as you make that big jump. But it's the big jumps that we take that make the biggest impact. And those photos, when it's your listing next to, we'll say the creators and the sellers who have a professional photographer doing their photos, when it's your hat against one of their hats, it would really suck to miss out on that click when the product is even better than what your competitor is selling, but just because the competitor has a better photo, and therefore the product perception is higher, because somebody is going to see more value in a product and assume that it's better if the photo is better, which is weird, but it's just kind of how human brains work. If we see, well, as I always say, a bad photo of a great product equals a bad product in the eyes of your customer. And your photos aren't bad. There's just couple easy mistakes that you could fix.
You don't have to worry about reposting right now. I won't be able to get down into the ones that are in the comments. I'll have people submit. I'll do one more after this one, and then I'll have people resubmit.
Okay.
All right. I need to bring. Where did my chat go? There it went.
He's lost it.
All right, let's do it.
Linda, you're an HAA, right? Linda, I just looked at your shop. I'm getting so many students that I'm forgetting when I've looked at shops. I've looked at your shop. I think you're an HAA. I can't remember. If I knew your last name offhand, I might be able to remember better. I know that I just saw your shop though, and I feel like I just talked to you in an email, but I'm starting to lose my brain a little bit because I look at so many shops during HAA enrollment. Let's see, 2,327 sales. That is fantastic. I love this smiling face. Look at her face. Look how happy she is. I feel immediate trust. I feel like Linda is somebody who's going to give me a great experience. I feel like she loves what she does. I mean, how do you guys feel when you see how happy she is? There's a couple key things about Linda's smile that are making me feel this way. Her smile is big and wide, and she has, when you smile big and wide and you have a genuine smile, your eyes squint. And I know that a lot of women, we're like, oh, if I smile that big, then you'll see my crow's feet. Those are the smiles that create trust, though. Those are the smiles that we want to have. And the unfortunate thing is, if you want to take a photo like that, you actually have to smile. When I take photos like that, I think of something funny. Mark and I watch funny videos every single night. We just sit and watch silly videos. So I'll think of whatever the last funny video that made me laugh was. For HAA students, I just posted it in the student campus, the Hug a Nurse video. So hopefully that makes you all laugh. Let's see. I noticed that you don't have a logo. This is not a logo. This is an image. However,
I think it fits just fine.
it fits. And I'm not going to be nitpicky about it because I think that it fits into what you sell. The home of beautiful digital paper craft supplies. So again, you've got some good keywords in here. That's fantastic. I think for what you sell, you have done a phenomenal job of showing your product, because I know for digital sellers, this can be really difficult when you create digital files, especially when you create big combo packs and you have to be able to represent a lot of these items. And I love that you're not trying to show everything like all in the thumbnail. You have that there are multiple like little houses, but then you've got 3 specific ones, you know, right front and center. I think
said all of Goosey Cottage is down to you guys in HAA.
I knew it. I knew that we just talked. I'm sure you guys get it. I'm sure I don't need to justify myself with, dear Lord, we have over 70,000 subscribers now, but you have done just such a beautiful job of showcasing exactly what you sell.
I like the little name cards on the bottom. I don't think they work for every person's product, but I think for this specific thing, since your pictures kind of have to be super busy, because if it was just the black text underneath, I feel like that would just kind of get lost, and that helps me stop and like actually look real quick.
There's still a color palette here. These aren't bright, bold colors. They're very they're very earth tone oriented. Everything feels, all of the colors that you've incorporated in feel like earth tones. I think that it looks really nice. How's your holiday sales been going, since I know that you sell a lot of Christmas artwork? It looks like you've gotten quite a few reviews for the holiday products, so that is great.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it.
Oh, these are beautiful. Is this your inspiration? Wow, you've done a really nice job. Oh, super cute. This is what I love to see. This makes me feel so much trust, and it makes me feel like you live in your brand. You know, this isn't just a way for you to make money. You're a part of your brand. You're a part of your image. This is, I mean, for those who are thinking about joining Handmade Alpha Academy, this is really what we teach. It's becoming a part of your brand to make sure that everything you do connects back to your ideal customer. And I think that you've done an excellent job of that. Everything just comes together in a way that's so cohesive. I love that. Remember, papercraft is cheaper than therapy. That's adorable. Tell me more about Simon. Who's Simon? Who are
Simon's
you?
just along for the ride.
Simon, who are you? Tell me more about Simon. You've created some curiosity in me. Why are you hiding him from us, Linda? Oh, and yep, this is exactly what I mean about the emojis, guys. They just stand out a little bit. You know, they pop. And look, these are cute. They're pink. I'm going to go ahead and click on just one of your Christmas ones.
You said yes, I designed everything myself.
Awesome. They are beautiful. Super cute. Great photos. Love the listing video. It gives them a preview of everything that they're going to get. You didn't have to sit and record it. You know, I know a lot of people are like, I sell digital. What can I do for my listing videos? And this is enough. This is all you need. You've got a preview of everything, and yes, love this. Digital shops, this is so important.
You said Simon is my IT son. He's shy.
Oh, he's shy. Find a cartoon that looks like Simon. Draw Simon. Get an AI image of Simon. Tell us who he is. Christmas shops, fussy cuts for scrapbooking, junk journals, folios, albums, collages, artwork, papercraft, card making, digital download. Clearly your SEO is working because you're getting sales from this. It looks like you're probably getting a lot of great broad matches as well. So you're probably getting do people search fussy cuts? I didn't know that was a thing. I've never heard it before, but that's my ignorance, not being somebody in your target audience. So somebody could be searching Christmas fussy cuts for papercraft, Christmas fussy cuts for card making, and you would be broad matching for all of those terms. I don't see a lot of repetition in here, which is great. So perfect. I think that you are doing awesome. And
I think Simon needs a little raccoon avatar, like peeking around a bush.
yeah,
Being shy.
Simon Shy. I think that you've done an awesome job, Linda. I wish
Change
I
his
could.
name to Shy Simon.
I wish I could give you more critiques than that, but
All right, we'll do one more, and then I'll have people do a quick resubmit.
sure. I'm gonna drink my Gatorade because I need electrolytes.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick this one and then go to the restroom.
Oh God. Is it an emergency trip or is it a...
Don't know yet.
Okay, those are the worst. I had a lot of those.
For those of you who are confused by that, we have a stomach bug.
Yeah, I thought it was food poisoning, but now he has it. So now I'm wondering.
Sounds like we've got the flu.
We haven't been around anybody. We haven't left our house.
My barber.
Your barber. Oh no, I didn't think about that.
I don't see anything back.
Nope, looks good.
All right, sounds good. If for some reason I'm not back when you need it, this one is screen share, this one's camera.
All right.
Be right back.
Wait, which one's camera?
The one with a camera.
Oh, got it. I could have figured that out on my own. He does way more than you guys think. We always have people who are, I mean, you guys have heard it. We've had people who are snotty that are like, I just want Starla. The channel's called Starla More. We just want Starla. I'm like, you guys don't understand. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know what button to push. I don't know how to make the camera work. I don't know nothing. That's all him. Abby Claire, a couple things. I first of all, I think that you have one of the most beautiful banners that I have seen. This is brilliant. I like it. I don't want to see it here, and here, though. I would love to see something else here. I would love to see your face, an avatar. Again, those human faces, they mean so much. Now, right now, your shop feels incomplete. First of all, there's no tagline here. That's a great place to put some keywords in. We can keyword optimize that little tagline. A lot of people put their slogan there. If your slogan already contains good keywords, cool, put it in there. But otherwise, if your slogan doesn't have good keywords that accurately represent your shop, maybe you could just put your slogan on your banner. For you, I think that you have a really great image up here. And I thought I knew how I was going to feel until I started scrolling down to your products. Once I got to here and I started seeing the kind of retro sweatshirts, I was disconnected. If you notice, you guys got my genuine reaction when Mark came to the shop and I went, wow. And then he scrolled down and I went, oh, it's not that these products are bad. In fact, these products are great. However, they do not match this at all. This is different. This is beautiful. This is unique. I've not seen this black with the pops of color. I thought I was going to dive into floral. What's some, God, I feel like there's a word for what I'm looking for. I've seen some beautiful, interesting floral photography where people take photos of flowers in unique ways. Where it's not just like photos of flowers growing in a field, but they find interesting ways to shoot those photos. Anyway, what I'm saying is I felt very disconnected because I went from this dark and artistic, and then I got down here and it was kind of like cartoonish retro Christmas. Super cute. If this is the style you want to go with, I would make sure that your brand reflects that. If this is the style that you want to go with, which I will tell you that this here is less saturated than cartoonish. Cartoonish is more trendy right now. Standing out is going to be harder. I would go with this direction. It just depends on what you're more passionate about. I also noticed immediately that you are using mock-ups directly from your distributor, which is fine. However, these aren't going to stand out very much on a search page. I am a big fan of ordering samples when you can and shooting your photos yourself when possible, or spicing up your mock-ups in a way that is unique to you. So these look like they were uploaded directly from Printful or Printify, which is fine. You're allowed to do that, but there's no wow factor there. However, you could pop one of these mock-ups into, say, Canva, subtract the background, add in something that matches your branding. If it's this dark background with the floral, maybe you could start incorporating that into your background photos. There's a lot of different ways that you could do that. Overall, I don't know who your target audience is. I kind of got nature vibes, but now I'm getting like 70s fonts and retro vibes and peace vibes. These flower products kind of fit. But for the most part, it kind of just looks like you're creating a lot of everything and you don't have a lot of direction, which is very typical of POD shops right now. And I know that there are a lot of POD YouTubers out there that tell you you don't need a niche, just create as much of everything that you can. Let me ask you this. Aside from the YouTubers who are promoting to do that, how many shops do you see that create a lot of everything that are actually successful on Etsy? None of the top 100 best performing shops on Etsy are POD shops that do this. And that to me is a good sign that maybe that's not the best path to go. Every brand needs to have something that makes them unique, special, notable. So we want to make sure that, our customers remember us, and we need to encourage repeat buys of our products. Again, that 80-20 rule that I always talk about, 80% of your sales should come from 20% of your audience. That basically means that repeat customers are very important. So what I would love to see is you really buckle down on one cohesive brand image. That's the foundation of the Handmade Alpha Academy. It's the thing that when you see us critique HAA shops, why you look at them and you immediately know the vibe that you're supposed to feel. Within 7 seconds, which is, God, I wish I could remember the study. For those of you who are in HAA, I think it's in module 6. But 7 seconds is the average amount of time that it takes for a human to form a first impression. We want to catch them in 7 seconds. So when it comes to things like our banner, you caught me in those 7 seconds. You lost me when I started scrolling down. When you walk into a store that has a perfect brand aesthetic, that encompasses everything that is important to that brand, you know it immediately. If you walk into a Pottery Barn, you know the type of house that stuff goes into, right? You walk into a Hot Topic, you know the type of person that's going to buy those products, right? Even if the Hot Topic sells, some cute little products and then some super gothy satanic products, you know who their target audience is, even if the products are kind of different. There is an overarching theme. I would love to know what the overarching theme is, because there are no clues to tell me that. It just feels like something that, you said, I can make it, therefore I will make it. But why? What is the special thing that makes you stand out? Okay. No, there's no policies, no FAQs, no about section. I don't know when you started. You feel like a brand new shop. My biggest suggestion would be to really buckle down on making this not a quick venture to make money, but a passion that means something. We can go ahead and pop off. I think that it's really important. And
I'm going to post go because they need to submit their shops.
Yeah, they can go ahead and pop shops in again. I think that it's really important that you buckle down on finding your brand image and what's important to you and the types of people that you want to serve, because ultimately understanding your target audience, HAA students, that's why we do that in module 2. We do it immediately. Like, that's the first thing we do, because once you know who you're trying to sell to and who you want to work with on a day-to-day basis, and you start identifying the problems that they face every day, their morals and values, the things that are important to them. Once you begin figuring that stuff out, the product development comes easier. Being able to sell those products comes way easier because you're able to talk about the benefits and how you're going to start solving their problems. And you're able to market more effectively, because by understanding their problems, you're able to explain how you can solve those problems. And, everybody thinks that, a mug doesn't solve a problem. A necklace doesn't solve a problem. Every product solves a problem. We did a brilliant example in the Handmade Alpha Academy earlier this week where somebody had asked about, was it in Handmade Alpha Academy or was it the public group? I think it was HAA. But either way, somebody was asking about how their product solves a problem. And I said, okay, think of it like this. If a stepfather needs to buy a toy for his stepchild. The problem is obviously, she needs something for Christmas. So he bought, that's the problem, right? No, there's a deeper problem. There's the problem that's on the surface that we think we've got a grasp of. But if you can figure out what the problem underneath that is, you've got a unique selling point. So maybe that father, the kid needs a Christmas present. That's easy. That's the easy problem. And that's the problem he thinks he's solving. Deep down, the problem that he doesn't realize he's solving, but the problem that is deeply rooted in his brain is that maybe that child doesn't have a connection with her real father. And maybe by buying her a gift that's special just from him that mom didn't help him with, he's able to help form a connection and a bond with her because he knows she's not going to get a gift from her real dad. When you can find the real problem below the surface level problem, you can make sure that you're optimizing for that sale. I did another example of scented candles. Maybe a woman is buying a scented candle for her elderly mom. Well, the easy answer is that it's an easy gift. Everybody lights candles, right? Well, what about the underlying problem? Maybe her elderly mom doesn't have a lot of time. Maybe she doesn't want to burden her with more items that she can't use because what's she going to do with them after she passes away? What could somebody who's potentially on their deathbed need? They're not going to take it with them when they pass away. So maybe she buys her a candle to serve as a sense of comfort, but something that she can use and enjoy that isn't going to be something that, that is just going to sit around. You know what I mean? There's always a problem under the problem. And when you can get down into the bedrock and underneath, to what is really in there, it's like the magma of the problem, then you can really start to identify like what influences people to buy. And that's hard. That takes so much work, but we all think like that or don't think like that because it's under our conscious awareness. So, be critical of yourself and be critical of your own decision making. And once you can do that, you start to see how other people also see. Again, this is HAA. That's pretty much what we exclusively talk about is the psychology behind decision making and what influences people to buy.
And if you want to give a quick spiel on Handmade Alpha Academy, I'll post a link and then we can do the final shot.
Yeah. Guys, Handmade Alpha Academy. We'll get to the last shop right after my spiel. Handmade Alpha Academy is open now until Sunday night. We'll be closing it at midnight on Sunday night, so 11:59 p.m. Sunday. That is my self-paced Etsy coaching program. The entire thing is pre-recorded. If you can't start till after the holidays, that's A-okay. We completely understand. We are probably going to be taking a bit of a break as well. Handmade Alpha Academy is a 9-module self-paced coaching program that teaches you A to Z how to build, market, and grow a dominant brand on Etsy step by step. What makes the Handmade Alpha Academy unique as opposed to all of the others, millions of Etsy courses out there, is the Handmade Alpha Academy focuses on a foundation of human psychology, consumer psychology, and neuromarketing, which is an area that most Etsy coaches don't dive into because they don't have experience in it. I was a preschool teacher before I ever became a coach. So in my experience working with, small humans in their earliest stages of development, what I've really been able to narrow down in HAA and in my teaching is that human behavior doesn't change very much from when we are very small to when we are adults. We're just a little bit more irrational when we're small, but that irrationality kind of maintains itself. Just like I was talking about the why that we experience behind our purchases. We don't really acknowledge the why. We stay to the surface, but in HAA, we really try to buckle down on hitting all of those psychological triggers that help to make somebody make a purchasing decision. That way your brand aligns with those things. Now, we always have people who get into HAA and then they're like, well, I already have a logo. Well, I've already got branding colors. I'm going to skip this part. That really defeats the purpose of the program, though, because in HAA, what we do is we help you to reevaluate some of those past decisions if you already have an existing brand. That way, you better understand the emotions that you're making your customers feel. And by understanding them, it doesn't mean that you need to change anything, but by understanding them, you can get a better grasp on the way people feel about your brand so that you can start to influence it in the direction that you want them to feel. So if that sounds interesting to you, please consider checking out our enrollment page. Mark's going to shoot that into the chat.
I almost did it again.
Oh, no. If you guys have any questions about the Handmade Alpha Academy, we're going to stick around for a few minutes after this after we do our last critique.
For strictly HAA questions.
Yeah, and we're going to answer questions about HAA. If you have questions non-related to HAA, please join us on Friday, because after critique week, we'll also set a little bit of time aside on Friday to answer general questions. We are going to be here every single day at noon Eastern time doing shop critique. So if you missed out today, just come back. We're going to be doing these all week. And
make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Otherwise, you won't be able to comment. We have non-subscriber comments turned off at the moment.
Yes. And
if you guys want, I posted the link to Handmade Alpha Academy in the description. You guys can go, or not in the description, in the chat. You guys are good to go ahead and get HAA-related questions in while we're critiquing this last shop. We'll go ahead and do this, and we'll probably stick around till 1:15 or when we run out of HAA questions. Let's do it.
All right.
This one was kind of unique.
All right, Lisa.
I will say, just starting off, I like the banner. However, the text is very pixelated.
It's pixelated. It's kind of amateur. I can't read this very well. It's kind of blurry.
I get what you were going for, though. It's very much like most recycled brands, where it's very plain, not super aggressive or in your face. However, the small text, because it is already a little bit pixelated, it makes it hard to read.
Yeah. Up your resolution. If you're using Canva to make your banner, and you're not using the Pro, because the Pro subscription, the Canva Pro, you got to grab that slider for your download and pull that as big as that banner will get. Even if you're using a banner template, they don't export at the correct size. If you don't want to use Canva Pro, here's what I recommend. Go sign up for the 30-day free trial. Go in there, save that banner at maximum size, and then just go cancel before you get billed. I know that sounds crazy, but this is a great banner. I would love to see it at full res. And then all you got to do is cancel that subscription just so you can get it. You're not going to lose the ability to utilize the banner that you downloaded at full resolution. It's, you can do that. But overall, this is so interesting. Bicycle tube bracelets. This is such a cool idea. Now, one thing I will say, though, is that the beauty of bicycle tubes, I love this. I think that you could get some better keywords in here. I think that you could lean a little more into the recycled element and the bicycle element. I know that it kind of feels like you're already doing that, but it took me a minute. I thought that they were like temporary tattoos. I think by adding a couple more elements that directly tie to the recycled and bicycle, you might be able to drive more of that. Remember that internal why we just talked about? I think that there's a lot of ways that you could really take advantage of that, and maybe even get one of these. Is this you? This appears to be the same arm. Do you have a bike that you could sit on? I know that these have nothing to do with bicycling. It's more of the recycled element, but I'm assuming that a lot of cyclists are going to be drawn to your product. And if you were on a bike in one of the photos, or you had the handlebars, it might, more connections, right? We want to make more mental connections with your core message. And it took me a long time to figure out what it was that you were selling before I read it. Love this photo. You've got a big smiling face, and I love that you use the black and white because it matches with your branding colors. Your logo's a little confusing. I know that you create products that have the flowers, but I feel like, again, tying back into, even if you were to add, like, I almost want to see like the spokes of a bike in the center of the flower. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there's a huge USP, unique selling point here, and you're just kind of barely grazing it. You're not like hitting it dead center. And I think if you could just hit it dead center, you'd really appeal to a unique target audience because your products are truly unique. Really nice photos. I love the backgrounds that you have going on. Yeah, overall, these are great.
I don't have any complaints. I like the naturalist style of photos where they're not like overly professional, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they feel natural.
Outside, the sunlight is perfect. Obviously, they're in a beachy kind of area. So.
Yeah, some of the
that one's a little off.
It looks like you're trying to show the tattoo as well, but I think that this is more important. Nobody's buying the tattoo, I would try to make sure that your photos are more centered. I'm getting more hand than I am bracelet in some of these. So just going in and readjusting your thumbnails, especially since Etsy recently changed to the square images, you just want to make sure that you've realigned them within your listing editor. Just go in, click edit, and then, down below you can reposition your thumbnails a little bit better. I'm getting more beach vibes than I am bicycle recycle.
And honestly, I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't see a problem with that. And I kind of like, Amber said they almost look like tattoos. I kind of like that because at first you don't quite know what they are. And it adds a bit of, for me at least, it adds a little bit of intrigue into like, what is this? Or these, my first thought is that they were leather. I was like, these are really unique, like hand cut leather, but no, it's even cooler. They're recycled, bike stuff.
Yeah, which is
That's awesome.
And it's cool. And I'm sure that there's probably not a lot of keyword opportunity for recycled bicycle tire bracelet. I'm sure nobody's specifically searching that. So you almost have to add in the value factor afterwards.
I like the sporty upcycled bracelet. I think that's awesome.
I feel like you have such cool
putting in
last
in your
chance
title, last chance, 6 left. Etsy does that for you.
Yeah, don't waste your keyword space like that. You don't need to waste your keyword space like that. Honestly, your pricing's kind of low.
For what they are.
Yeah,
it's I'm assuming they're inner tube. Are they tire or are they inner tube? I can't tell. I would assume that they're inner tube, but either way,
I'd pay more. I mean, you've got the free shipping too, though, because she's also paying for the shipping. She's eating that cost.
Yeah, you have to insert the effort that it takes into it as well. If you're selling well, obviously don't change anything. You have 37 reviews. I think they're super neat.
Oh, that's so sweet. Look at that. That's so nice. That's a great
good customer service. I like to see that. Being good at selling something starts with having good customer service. If you can't do well with customer service, then you're going to have a bad time at some point.
It looks like you're pretty established with your logo. I think
yeah, don't screw with it if it's working for you. She said yes, inner tubes.
You know what might be cute?
And the pricing is in line with competitors.
You know what might be cute is even on your displays. Do you ever have people who are kind of they walk up and they're a little confused? I would get some little classy, like if you get on Amazon, you can find like little classy iron, like handmade little like bicycle bookshelf decor. Maybe just like incorporating a couple of those. This is cool though. I love that you've got.
Yeah, that's really neat.
I mean, overall, it's such a cool idea. Again, get some FAQs. I've got so many questions. I have so many things I would like to know about your brand. I would love for you to show that in the process. And I think that you could, I mean, maybe you already have in the listing video.
They won't hear any sounds.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Skip forward a little bit.
Oh, okay. So you do have a video, I'm assuming, kind of explaining. Okay, that's awesome. That's great. I'm going to go ahead and click on, I'll click on this one because it seems to be like your front and center. Again, you don't need this in here. Get that out of there. That's not helping your keywords.
Yeah, it's the self-clout doesn't really help on Etsy. Won't really do you anything.
Yeah.
Nobody's searching for top selling.
If this is your bestseller, then you'll get the bestseller badge. If this is a bestseller, I mean, you don't mess with the listing. If this is like a best-selling item, obviously don't touch your SEO. I feel like you're missing some keyword opportunities in here. Don't touch anything if it's working. You might be getting some decent broad match phrases, but there's some terms in here that I am unsure of. Beach, punk, tattoo, cycle fashion. I feel like a little bit more leaning into the cyclist side of things, because I think that those are going to be the customers that are really interested. Got some great photos. Do you have any photos that represent your... I would like one additional photo in this listing because I've seen like 9 photos of the bracelet. which is cool, but I think I've got a full scope on what the bracelet is. Can you add in a photo of the like bracelet laying flat with a completed, non-cut inner tube like around it? Maybe like even adding like an arrow, this made from this. Just super easy, super simple. Anybody can understand it. But
She said my keywords are difficult. Cycling has a very low search. It's not just about what the product is. Who are you selling to? What community of people are you selling to? What do those people do? It's not all just specifically about the product. Obviously, you need to say what it is. Upcycled inner tube bracelet. Like, what does that look like? Upcycled bracelet. What does that look like? Cycle fashion. Like, you need to be checking the SEO to make sure that these are terms that people are searching for. And if not, maybe get a little bit more creative, not just about the product, but who you're selling to.
yeah, like, are there any other types of people that might buy your products? Is there any other, demographics that you might not be hitting 100%? Because your keywords are very product focused, but I'd love to see some more people focused keywords and then honing in and trying to find some long tail keywords. Because the one thing that I noticed was the lack of long tail keywords that were incorporated in. 146 sales is not bad at all. And how long have you been open?
2020. I mean, that's not terrible. It could definitely be better. And I think if you narrow down the SEO to get it in front of more people, again, don't change your bestsellers. If you have one that does sell frequently, leave it alone. But don't go and adjust all of your SEO right away. Adjust a couple of listings here, maybe some ones that you really like that aren't performing well, and then go from there.
Yeah, I think that Lisa, what you might want to do, pop into the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. It's linked down below in the video description. Post a photo of your product, explain what it is, ask in the comments, have people tell you who they would buy it for. Like, what type of person do you think would, aside from, bicyclists, obviously, what type of person do you think would be interested in this? To be perfectly honest, I think that bikers.
I would have worn this as a teenager. I would have worn something like this.
Musician.
As a musician who likes to wear bracelets that don't dangle and get in the way.
Yeah, it's tight. It looks.
I wouldn't focus on musicians. They're not going to be your demographic. But
right.
But the point is that you can
a good variety. You could try to hit a different type of person with every listing and see which one does better, and then you'll get a better sense for.
Yeah,
but
Amber said there's a difference between SEO and visual description.
That's true. That's true. Being able to focus on the who and the why, as opposed to here's what it looks like, here's what it's shaped like, here's what it's made of. That's one side of SEO, but then there's another side that who
wants it,
right? Who wants it? And a lot of us search for the who wants it before we know what the what is. We don't know to search for the bicycle bracelet. We don't know to search for, what it is, but we know who we want to buy something for, and we start there. And then they just happen to come across that super duper cool product that they never even knew that they needed. But guys, we are going to be answering HAA questions if you have them. Did we have any?
I didn't see any HAA questions in here. If you guys have any HAA questions, feel free to go ahead and get those in the comments. We're pretty transparent, so.
Pretty transparent. We're
as transparent as we're legally allowed to be. And yes, I still don't know what that means. However, someday we probably will.
That's true. That's true. If you ask us for our social security numbers, we probably won't give them to you, but we do appreciate you.
Give me a couple $1 million, I'll give you my social. I don't need it anymore.
You don't need it anymore. We appreciate you guys. HAA will be open until Sunday night. We apologize for the quiet energy today, Mark and I. If you joined us late, we are both sick.
We have a stomach bug.
Yeah, I thought for sure it was food poisoning.
Because she only got it first, but now today I'm like, Are you doing any more shop critiques? Yes, we're doing these every day this week. And Amber posted the times here to make my brain not die. Noon Eastern time, 11 a.m. Central Standard, 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. UK time.
Yes.
Every day this week.
And they're already scheduled. If you click on my name right under this video where my little face is, it'll take you to my channel homepage, and you can click notify me on all of those upcoming streams. And if you have the YouTube app on your phone, it'll send you a notification. But they'll be coming out, same time, every single day, Monday through Friday. And then Yeah, we're not doing Friday Bean. We're doing critique. So
Yeah, we'll be doing critiques for the Friday.
I mean,
Bean.
it's technically
And
the Friday Bean.
I might
but...
change up the formula. I'm gonna look tonight and see if I can find a thing that I can like paste names into and have it choose to make life a little bit easier.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But I still haven't seen any questions. I'm going to go ahead and post the link for handmadealphaacademy.com, our VIP page. If you guys want to check it out, feel free, jump in there. It's available until December 10th at midnight. After that, it goes away until June.
But no more today. No, we're only doing an hour's worth.
An hour, 5 days a week. It's a lot more than you'd think having to work your schedule around a live stream. I opened my shop this year and have been pretty successful so far, but I feel like I definitely have room for improvement while I still benefit from HAA. We have had students that have started from nothing and made it all the way to the, the 6-figure mark and beyond. We've had people that started at the 6-figure mark and more than double, tripled their income. It's not really about whether or not the material works. We know that it works. And I know that sounds kind of stuffy, but
here's the thing.
It's up to your effort.
Here's what I always say. Do you know what you should be doing next? Because ultimately, HAA, it's not just here's how you set up your shop, here's how you upload a banner. That's stuff that you guys can learn for free. That's not what, I mean, we do talk about starting your shop. If you're brand new and you literally don't know what to do, there are optional lessons that will show you the process of setting up, but that's not what HAA is. HAA is going to help you to understand the whys behind the essential parts of your brand, such as your branding, such as your SEO, such as your marketing. I help you to build a marketing funnel. That way you don't just have to rely on SEO. It's like a double funnel where, you get your traffic from your SEO, but you also get your traffic from your external marketing, from an email list, from your social media marketing. We work on building brand loyalty with those customers to ensure that you are, encouraging them to come back to purchase again and again. So if you need that roadmap that is going to give you an action plan so that you always know the exact path that you need to be on every day and you don't experience that confusion of what should I be doing? Should I launch a collection? What should I post on social media? What should I send an email about today? That is what HAA is. It isn't just a quick crash course. It is a foundational change to how you run your business. It sets you on a track that will help you to run your business for the life of your business. And it can be applied to any Etsy shop that you start. And it can apply to other areas of business as well. We have we have students who have utilized a lot of the things that they've learned in HAA for other areas of business. Michelle, my editor, she also, what's the matter?
Nothing. You do your thing. Ignore me.
She uses HAA to help as a book editor. There are so many ways that you can use this content. Now, I don't recommend signing up for it if you only, sell on your website or you only sell on, Amazon, because there are big chunks of the program like Etsy SEO that is not going to be applicable to any other platform. However, a lot of the things that you learn in HAA, if you decide to expand out or move, you'll be able to take this knowledge with you. It's not just, it's a foundational knowledge of human behavior and psychology in marketing. And that applies anywhere in business. And then what can I do to be ready for the next round of HAA? Start with the free resources. Shannon, down below this video in the video description, if you expand it out and click show more, all my free programs are in there. My 30-day Instagram challenge is a great place to start if you don't know what to do for marketing your business. The Etsy SEO Toolbox, another great place to start if you're confused about Etsy SEO. We constantly do videos here every Tuesday. Not going to upload one tomorrow because we're already doing Critique Week. Fridays, we're here every Friday. Every Thursday, I'm live over on the eRank channel, other than this week, obviously, because I'm going to be here. But there are so many different areas where you can learn and start gaining that momentum. So, in the meantime, gaming up for HAA, if you're planning on enrolling next year or, when we open again in June, just really, really buckle down on don't wait to grow, basically. Keep trying to gain your own momentum.
Brooke Liddy question. You guys take Affirm. I know about the payment plan, but I was just I don't believe that we do. It might give you the option on the Stripe checkout, but I don't believe so. The only credit option, obviously, that we support would be PayPal credit. I usually don't like asking people to use their credit cards. I feel more that you should try to either save for it or pay for it out of pocket. It's your prerogative. I can't tell you what to do, but there's a bunch of options I could put on there, like Affirm and a bunch of different credit stuff that I can put, but I choose not to. I don't like doing that.
We had a competitor who told somebody apparently to like max out all their credit cards to buy like their program, and it's just
that stuff makes me feel icky. I don't like doing that.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I don't like to be that person. You know, maybe that makes me a bad marketer, and maybe I'm leaving money on the table, as like all the big coaches would say. But that's, you know, I would rather see you guys be financially okay. And that's why I push my free stuff so much. Like, take the free stuff until you feel like this is something that, you know, that you're ready for. And even if it's not my program that you go with, if there's another coach that clicks with you, I'm an educator first and foremost. I started as an educator. I've been an educator for years. I started as a preschool teacher. So as an educator, speaking as the, you know, someone with a perspective of an educator, my goal is to help you. And if in, you know, my path, you know, helping you, you decide that there is somebody out there who clicks more with you, go with the person that clicks the most with you, because we all learn differently. And not everybody is going to connect with me. Not everybody's going to like me. And that's okay. That is okay. As long as the only time that I have a problem is when people are like mean to me for no reason, where they tell me about all the things that they hate about me. I hate your voice. Like, I can't change that. You know, if it's something related to my strategy, that's fine. But if it's, you know, something that I can't change, then be nice. But point being is that everybody learns differently. And I might not be the perfect coach for you, but if you like what I do here, if you've taken my free stuff and you enjoy it, then maybe I am. And if I'm not, we have a 30-day, 0 questions asked money back guarantee on HAA. You don't have to submit homework like some.
You just can't be mean.
Yeah, some courses make you submit homework and prove that you tried. Look, here's the thing. If a coach makes it as difficult as possible to obtain a refund, they don't want to give you a refund. And
if they encourage you to use credit, it's totally fine if you want to use credit.
But if they're pushing you to do it,
if they're pushing you and encouraging you to use credit, then they care more about the money that they're asking from you than the content and your success. Obviously, we like money. We wouldn't be doing anything in business if we didn't like money. But
you guys like money?
But we try our best to be like transparent and nice and honest about everything. We don't lie. We really, when it comes to our course, we don't lie about anything that's in it. That's unnecessary. We also don't upsell you. You're not going to get an ad the moment that you check out for 6 other courses that you need along with it. You get everything. Not only do you get all of that, you get every other paid thing that we currently have. You also get that, and many other things coming in the future.
Yeah. So, the only paid thing that you need for HAA, you need eRank Pro, and I pay for that for you. That
for a year.
So you don't got to worry about it. I take care of that for you. And I do highly recommend buying your domain name and your domain email. Domain name is going to run you $12 to $15 on average, depending what, you know, your business name is. And
it's not mandatory. It's
right.
Just preferred.
I recommend that because you might get domain hijacked, which is basically where a broker buys your domain name out from under you and then tries to resell it for an astronomical amount of money. And, you know, I don't want to see that happen to anybody. It's better to just buy it while it's $12. And then I recommend getting your domain email address because it looks professional. And when you do email list marketing, it's more likely that your emails will land in the subscribers' inbox rather than their spam box. So a domain email address for me would be, you know, Starla at handmadealphaacademy.com as opposed to like Starla at gmail.com, for example.
Does HAA get updated if things change?
Yes.
As soon as we possibly can, yeah. Sometimes things take some research or some like development to actually know like how to update the change, but there hasn't been anything severe like that since we launched the course.
No, we just updated it.
We did a full brand update. Oh God, was it not last December, last June? Not this year's June, but the prior year's June, I think was the update. Yeah. So yeah, we update as soon as, and if it's not something that requires like a full video update on something, a lot of times
we do a patch update.
Yeah, we'll do a patch update, like a supplemental video below the video that had an update, and we'll put like big bright red letters like this thing is different. Ignore this part of the video.
Yeah. I mean, HAA is our only program, so it's the program
Yeah.
that we spend the most time in.
And the course is based primarily on like the psychological foundations of what you're doing. So unless something specific changes with a tool or with Etsy directly, a lot of it doesn't really need updated. In HAA, do you guys teach how to niche down a shop?
I do.
That's a huge part of it, yes.
Yes, we start with target audiences. So a lot of people, you know, they look for the part that says niching. Where's the niching part? Understanding your target audience first and foremost is niching. Because when you know who they are, you know what's important to them, you know what their values are, you know what their problems are. That's where you can start catering your brand to the things that are important to them. And truly, that is the first step in defining your niche. That's what we do first in HAA. So we start with target customers so that everything you do after your target customer is built, everything you do connects back to them and what's important to them. So, and then you look at your brand and you can decide what fits, what doesn't, or how can I make the items I already have fit with this ideal customer.
I was curious to hear about the HA community and if we're able to connect with other makers and business owners for ideas, support, etc. That's actually one of the huge selling points. We have a private community on Facebook
Yes.
that is only accessible to people who have paid.
Yes. The student campus is such an amazing community. It is the most welcoming Etsy community that I've ever been a part of. And it's you guys who make it like that. Now we also have the free, you know, open Handmade Alpha Facebook community. There's like, what, 20,000 people in that right now. The student campus is a more intimate community where everybody is on the exact same path, doing the exact same thing. And you're working with sellers who have been on this path. Some of them took HAA initially in 2018 when we first launched it. There are other coaches in there. There's eRank staff members in there. There are students who are well above six figures who are there to help you as well. And I'm in there and I try to catch every question that I possibly can. So yeah, there is a fantastic community.
Does HAA explain how offline promotion like social media, etc., affect Etsy search visibility? I thought I saw that somewhere.
Offline, you mean off-site promotion?
Off-site promotion like social media. It doesn't.
Okay, so I can answer this question for you right now. If you're talking about backlinking to your Etsy shop, it's not. Backlinking isn't going to help you the way that we used to all hear about backlinking, where everybody would be like, start a blog so you can get good backlinks. It's just not, it's not as, you're not going to get as much ROI in terms of like return on investment for your time. With social media, we do teach social media, yes, because social media marketing is extremely important. And I set you on a marketing timeline so that you know where, depending on your journey and what you're doing, what you should be posting on social media. And I overview all of the social media platforms aside from Threads, because obviously Threads hasn't done that great.
Died already.
But I go over the social media platforms and I recommend that you pick 3, one primary one, 2 others that, you know, you kind of have on the back burner, but everybody should have that one social media platform. And what that does in terms of search and visibility is if you funnel traffic directly from your Etsy shop, or I'm sorry, directly from your social media to your Etsy shop, and somebody makes that purchase, that still helps your overall listing quality score and can help that listing to rank better and search for the keywords that you've optimized for. I know that there's a lot of coaches out there right now who are saying, don't share your Etsy shop on social media. It'll hurt your conversion rate. Your conversion rate on from that traffic that's coming from external external marketing. I'm so sick, guys. It has no impact on your search ranking. That conversion from search, where somebody makes a connection with the keywords that they've searched for, and then it connects to a product, that does have a positive impact on your ranking. But those conversions where somebody comes from social media and visits your shop and then, you know, doesn't buy, it's not going to hurt your search ranking. That's a misinterpretation of Etsy's Ultimate Guide to Search. You guys can check that out for yourself when it comes to conversions from search. But the short answer is we talk about social media and the positive, you know, things that you can do and how to build up those social media accounts and marketing. But what you're talking about, it's not really, aside from making those sales, which help your overall listing quality score, there's not really any impact on Etsy search when it comes to, linking your shop externally through social media.
Is there any way we can talk to anyone who has done HA just to understand their experience?
So many.
Right here. You can also head over to the Handmade Alpha, the public Handmade Alpha Facebook community. You have that link down below.
Yeah, it's in the...
You can click on that, go over there, ask about people's experiences. Most of the time, people are honest.
Yeah. Go check it out. There's already threads in there of people talking about it. Just feel free to post in there. I stay out of those threads because I assume you guys don't want to hear me. I'm just preaching to the choir.
We're not unbiased.
I'm preaching to the choir, right?
Yeah.
But if you post in there, hey, what do you guys think of Handmade Alpha Academy? There are, hundreds of people that are in both of the groups, and they would be more than happy. And I'm sure that there's people in HAA right now that would, that will talk to you as well.
I checked the HAA reading list, which is most important. Depends on what topic you're trying to go for.
So I think
if you could only pick one, what would it be?
Only one. I can't do that, but I'll give you 3. First, Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. Read that first. It'll take you an hour. You moved it? It was him. No.
Jeez, that's why I'm sick.
Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. Start there. It's fantastic. It is amazing. Read it to your kids. There's a cute little YouTube video if you'd rather watch it as a movie. It's like, it looks like an 80s cartoon. It's so badly done, but it's adorable and you get the concept, right? Start with that. Then I would recommend moving on to Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely, because that's going to give you a foundational knowledge of the irrational choices that dictate human decision making. And then I would move on to, it's a toss-up between How We Decide and The Paradox of Choice, but I'm going to put The Paradox of Choice first. Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz. There's a great TED Talk that he does, and it's here on YouTube if you want to watch it, but I would read the actual book. He talks about choice overload and how the freedom of choice, especially in American culture, actually has led to more unhappiness because the brain can't function when it comes to a large amount of choices that we have to make in a day. Our brains are only designed to make so many decisions. We still have the same brain, the exact same brain that we had as ancient humans, where our objectives were to find food. Well, that's why we crave sweets, right? If you're in the wild, right? If you're in the wild and you find a honeycomb or a berry, that's a calorie-dense food. And you want to eat as much of that as possible because that's going to keep you alive as long as possible. But that doesn't help us very much now when we have an abundance of sweets and then we start craving them, right? We don't need to eat in excess of them, but we want to, right? So there's irrational parts of our brains that dictate our decision making, and both Predictably Irrational and The Paradox of Choice touch on those. But when we start to understand the irrational choices and the irrational behaviors that completely dictate the primal underlying, the reptilian brain that we talk about, or the parts of the brain that are most deeply rooted in human evolution, we start to be able to influence those as marketers. And a lot of people think, well, that's manipulation, but that's all marketing is. Running
a business is a form of manipulation. It's just whether or not you remain on the ethical or unethical side.
Right. The word that most people neglect to utilize is influence. We are pushing people in a direction that we want them to take, but we are doing so in a way that is ethical. And you guys, I'm sure, have experienced brands that do it unethically, right? We've just like the coaches that we previously talked about that say, max out your credit cards.
I mean, we used to have a lot of unethical practices too. A lot of stuff that we don't do anymore. A lot of the click it in 5-minute timers, that kind of stuff. We were new. We didn't understand that there was an ethical issue with that, and we don't do that anymore.
Right. And you grow into it, because first, when you start as a marketer, all you know how to do is be a chameleon. You know how to look at what other marketers do, and you think because it's working for them, you need to be a chameleon and copy what they do, which is where we started, before I had known a whole lot about the psychology of marketing. I knew about human psychology, but not marketing psychology. You try to chameleon, but being a chameleon is not developing a sense of understanding for the underlying behavior. And I think that that's a lot of what I see on Etsy is a lot of people who can chameleon, where they can replicate, but they don't have a sense of understanding of why they're making those decisions. And because of that, they're not truly grounded within their brand in a way that allows them to influence. And influence is the most powerful tool that you have as a marketer. And like I said, essentially that is the foundation of HAA.
I think this is the last HAA question I got to go. I'm losing the battle here.
Okay.
On your website is another option of paying 6 months. Is this correct? There's one-time payment of $997, or there's 6 monthly payments of $199. If you message me with enough time to pay
email.
it off. Yeah, email me at my support email, which you'll get, when you get into HAA. With enough time to pay it off prior to March 1st, I will cut the final payment off, making it equal to the one-time payment. Do you have any?
And when do we start? It starts immediately.
Immediately at all times. No meetings, no Zoom calls, none of that. It's all pre-recorded, just like content on YouTube. It's only
Think of it like Netflix. You get to go in and you have access to every single bit of it from the moment you enroll. You can go in and start working. It's not like a pre-scheduled thing where we all get together. We're all over the world. Like we have a student in China. We have students in Australia.
Somebody asked last time if anybody was, from India. 15% of our traffic right now coming to our website is from India.
Yep. So we should go through and see how many countries we've.
I haven't looked at the analytics in a couple of days, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all the questions that we have. I'm going to go ahead and post a link for those of you who are interested. You can go straight over to the website. You can either read through. It's got any questions you could have. It's probably going to answer it on there. If not, you can click the button that says jump to enrollment options at the top of the page. It'll shoot you down to the bottom and you can pick what plan you want.
And hey, Edward, you missed critiques today, unfortunately, but come back any day this week. We'll be here every single day. We do
noon Eastern time, 11 Central, 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. UK. Thank you.
Remembered?
No, it's right here on the screen.
Oh, you read it? I thought you remembered it.
I did.
Edward, we'll be here every single day. We're doing critiques for an hour a day. You just came an hour late. So please feel free to join us, and we will be doing those every day. But guys, thanks so much. Thanks to those who donated. I don't know how much we've raised because I can't see the amount.
She pinned it, but I think we're at like 3,600, 3,700, 38. Somewhere between 3,500 and $4,000
for St. Jude
Our goal
Children's
is to get
Hospital.
that up to $5,000 before the end.
Yes, guys, thanks so much for your donations. St. Jude is an amazing organization. Please look into them if you've never heard of them. They are great. That money goes straight to them. We'll try to get to $5,000 by the end of the month. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Keep donating. And yeah, guys, we will see you tomorrow for critiques.
Bye-bye.
I have become a better person through HAA.
What I really like about Starla is her honesty and transparency. There's so much that she gives to people for free.
I'm like, this is an incredible framework for me to build into and adjust to and adapt to and all these things that I would have never been able to figure out on my own.
I was like reinvigorated about my business when I started HAA.
Our armor was featured in Lucifer's season 5 finale, and the main actor got to lore things that we created here. Part of the reason why we were able and ready to do such a thing was because of the alphas.
Joining Etsy, joining any online platform, you have question after question after question. HAA has been the one place where I've got answers for nearly all my questions.
You guys and what you have done with the Handmade Alpha Academy has literally changed my life.
And you get continued help no matter where you're at in your Etsy journey. That was probably the biggest selling point for me.
The way you teach it, it's simple, it's down to earth. I can comprehend it. That's one of the things I love about your teaching style.
I don't think I ever could have done it without being in the HAA. Your step-by-step steps were fantastic.
I don't know how you could not succeed by following the step-by-step really instruction of how you lead us through HAA.
The first 4+ years that I was on Etsy, I think I had 37 sales, and we've gotten well over 1,000 since then. I think I'm up to 1,200.
Self-paced, there's an amazing Facebook group that will help you.
Invest in yourself. It's worth every penny and so much more.
I look at my Etsy shop and I look at my website and I am just in awe of what I have done. And I just look at it every day and think, wow.
I actually think that for what you get, you guys are really, really not charging enough. I hate to say that.
I've had thoughts to myself where I've been like, I'd give you guys $3,000 for this course. I see how valuable it is.
2020, I did maybe $3,000. 2021, I did $10,000. HAA for me paid back for itself 6 weeks after I signed up for it.
I definitely recommend it. If you can invest the money, the time investment is not too bad.
Well worth the money. There is nothing in all that I've taken that I haven't been able to use for my business.
Absolutely, just do it, because there's no, what do you have to lose? And it's everything you need in one place.
It's hard to buy an education that will teach you practical skills like we learn in HAA.
Take the plunge, do it. First off, the money back guarantee is really a selling point for me.
She knows so much about marketing and branding and the psychology behind it. So that's really good knowledge to have, and she's so willing to share that.
So I would tell everybody out there that's thinking about it, if you're ready for the step and if you're ready to grow yourself and your business, it changed our lives, honestly.